Hi, hello, and welcome back to Meraki's Method, to our weekly gold making challenge update. Alright, so let's get into it. It is once again stupid o'clock at night when I'm recording this, as usual. Okay, so this week was a complete, well, it wasn't a bust, but you know, I had a really bad week IRL this week. It's the anniversary of a close death in the family, so it's always a pretty bad one for us every year. So I wasn't expecting too much of myself. And to be fair, that was good. I distracted myself a bit this week with using the Dark Moon Fair to get up a few more reputations sorted. I got my 80 reputations achievement, so I got that done. I also made a bit of progress on getting another couple of them underway, but of course with getting reputations up, that came with buying some of the mounts and stuff. There's this 10k gold each for the reputations, for the BFA ones at least, and I was grabbing different bits and pieces as well from the older reputations, so that cost a bit of gold this week. Also, I got totally fed up with the Warlords of Draenor, which is my least enjoyed expansion pack, and I did sink quite a bit of gold on Medallions of the Legion. I think about 20k, about half of that was spent on Medallions of the Legion. It was pretty bad, and to be honest, I then spent a few days trying to grind it, and I'm honestly not too far away from spending another 40k on more of them just to get it done. Either way, that was what our big expenditure was this week, and probably what kept our numbers pretty low as well. We made, where's my book? We made a 63k profit on this account, on account number 1 this week, and we made a 5k deficit on account number 2 this week, giving us a total of 57,000 gold this week, which is 150,000 less than what we wanted, and puts us 297k roughly behind target. So we're about a week behind target at the minute. So this week coming, well actually I'll talk about this week coming in a minute. What I did want to talk about here is our biggest sales this week. I barely even restocked my professions this week, but I did hit on 2 things that I want to talk about, and honestly, both of them I discovered literally within the last 4 hours. So, actually no, this was earlier this week, but I didn't get to do it again. So at the start of the week, I was watching a show with a friend, and while I was watching the show with a friend, I was randomly running around this little cave. If anyone doesn't know where this cave is, it is right here in the very, very bottom corner of Zangarmarsh, and it's got these creatures in it, and it's got ghost mushroom in it. So I just, while we were watching our show, ran around and farmed some ghost mushroom because I needed it to make ghost dye for my tailoring. I don't do this very often because, you know, it goes quite a way, but I needed to restock some of it, so I did. And I ended up, by the time our show was over, I had well over 100 ghost mushrooms, and I didn't need that much. I only needed a couple of dyes. So I think I took 50 for myself, and then I took 100 to sell, because ghost mushrooms are pretty rare, and I thought, you know what, probably get a good price for these. And there was a couple up, you know, there was 1 here, 1 there, 2 there, here and there, you know, because they do spawn, but, you know, just not, you know, difficult to dedicate it to, you know, to farm them with any kind of dedication. Because I think there's not very many spots where they farm in bulk or where they spawn in bulk. So there was a few on the auction house for dribs and drabs. So, but I didn't worry about those. I left them up there. I sold mine in stacks of 10 stacks of 10 for 200 gold a herb. So each stack was 2k. I came out of it, guys, as you can see here, 20k profit from ghost mushrooms. Just because I farmed them when I was watching a show, and I came out of it with 20k from selling 10 stacks of these herbs, which I thought, was it 10? Yeah, 10 stacks of herbs, because there were 200 an item. So that's why I'm farming these this evening as well. I was doing some roleplay on my other screen, so I thought while I was doing that, I'd run around and very idly farm these up. I've got about 60 or 70 as well, so that's another chunk of gold. So regardless of what they're priced for, because I'm selling them in bigger stacks and multiple stacks, they tend to sell, like these sold within 2 days of being posted. I think I had to repost a few of the remaining stacks once, and that was it. They all sold. So that was one of the things that I caught on to last week that I didn't actually get to, you know, redo until now. So I'm going to do some of that this week. I'm going to do some more farming of that. Maybe some farming of current. Actually, yes. I'm going to do a lot of farming of current mats, but I'll talk about that in just a second as well. The other thing that I discovered was on account number 2. And that was that I was in Dalaran. I was in Dalaran to get the black market auction house guide. They had a black tabby on there and a couple of other things I was looking at, so I was just watching those for a while. And I thought, while I'm here, I'm going to go run and get some elixirs of tongues, because I'm a role player, so those things are useful for us. And I'm on a role play server as well, so, you know, they're useful to have. I was thinking I'll get some for me, I'll put some in the guild bank, you know, happy days. And, you know, while I was there, because it's a vendor and it's something you can buy from a vendor, and, you know, this is me we're talking about, so I was like, I'll just pick up a few to put in the auction house as well, while we're here, while we're all the way out in Dalaran. So I did. I bought a stack of 200, I kept 100, and I sold 100. Now I just stacked them in stacks of 10 again, and I sold them in stacks of 10, 10 stacks of 10, and I sold these. They retail for about 30 gold each. You buy them from the vendor for about 30 gold each. So I sold them for 60 gold each, and I was like, well, listen, if these sell, that means I've made back everything I spent buying the stack, even though I used half of it myself. Anyway, they all sold basically instantly. Basically instantly. They'd sold before the night was out. And I was like, hang on a minute. That was the fastest, quickest, smoothest money I've ever made. So I went back today and I stocked up. I stocked up on some more of these pots. So that's why this account is currently negative 5,000, because at 30 gold a pot, when you're buying full stacks, that was quite an expense. I think it came to, what did it come to? 20k. I spent 20k on them. But if those sell at that rate, they'll double that this week. And that is a really nice, easy farm as well. So basically this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to farm some more ghost mushroom. I'm going to try and maybe hit this cave, do a cycle or two every night, see what I can come up with. I'm going to keep on the elixirs. I'm going to genuinely try and get my crafting restocked this week, because I honestly just did not last week. Just did not get them restocked. So I'm going to try and get those restocked this week. But the big thing I'm going to concentrate on this week, because like I said, we're now behind. We're now behind about a week's worth of gold. So we need to make double gold this week. You know, we need to make our 200k for this week and a 200k on top to get ourselves back on track. So this week what I'm going to do is I'm going to farm materials. I'm just going to do a week of farming, honestly. Time walking's up again this week. I'll probably be doing a bit of that here and there too, but here's the thing with the farming as well. This kind of works out really nicely for me, because this druid is my my farming toon. She is mining and herbalism. She's always been my farming toon, because, you know, druids are just really good for farming because they can fly and stuff. Not so much in this particular cave, because you obviously can't flight form in here, but you know, she's great. The thing is, I have been saving a 110 boost literally since the X pack dropped, because I wanted to make a Zandalari troll as well. And I was thinking to myself that I will just make a Zandalari troll on my second account. I will make a druid, because I don't have 2 druids and I have 2 of almost everything else. So I'll make my Zandalari troll a druid, and I'll make it on my second account, and I will use the boost that I've been saving up. And then they will both, this is why I haven't leveled this character as well, they will both be 110. So next week, when the Zandalari trolls come out, now that I have, after this week, got them all leveled up and everything, I will be able to dual level both my druids, so this one and my Zandalari troll, and I'm going to make them both gatherers. So I'm going to have, I don't want to say, it's not well, it is multi-boxing, but it's not like multi-boxing where, you know, you have like 5 of them. Plus I have no keybinds or anything like that. I literally just have 2 screens, so it's a lot slower than people that multi-box. So I don't want anyone getting the idea that I'm multi-boxing. I'm really just, you know, clicking over from one screen to another all the time. So it's much slower than that. But double yield is what I'm thinking about. So I'm going to level them both up. While I'm leveling them both up, I'm going to be doing as much farming on them as I can, because I kind of want to gear them into being a dedicated farming team that I can then roll out for maybe an hour a week. Like I've always said, I'm not huge on farming anything unless it's something like that I'm actually going to get something out of personally, like a mount or a title or something like that. But I want to try and work in a little bit of farming into my weekly rotation, because mats just sell so fast and for so much that it's, I don't know, I think it might be useful. I think it'd be good to, just bump the numbers a bit, give them that little bit of cushioning. But once I have these 2 druids sorted out, it'll be so much easier to do that. So that is what I am planning to do next week as well, as I'm going to sort out my double druid farming combo, and we are going to level and we are going to farm, and we are just going to see if we can make a whole butt ton of money farming current materials, flipping materials, doing our crafting, and looking at those elixirs of tongues seals as well. So that is the plan for this week, guys. I hope your week was a bit better than my week, and we will be back up with streams this week. There wasn't too many streams last week, like I said. It was a bad week for me IRL, and I just didn't want to, bring down the tone or the mood of our streams and all that kind of stuff. But the streams will be back this week. Hopefully everything should be working out as usual this week, unless anything comes up. Everything should be normal, our schedule should be normal, and I will talk to you guys then. Until then, happy hunting.